Thursday, the 24th of February, 2022. Today is an exciting day for the team here at Mikey. We're delighted to announce that JumpCloud has acquired us. This is a new chapter for us. Go us! After careful consideration, we have made the difficult decision to discontinue our existing products, and to make this as frictionless as possible for you, we are giving you 6 weeks notice to export your data before we close down everything. On April the 10th, 2022, we will remove our apps and extensions from their respective stores, turn off our platform services, and delete any data stored on them. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Pete Matheson. Consider subscribing to this channel if it's of any interest to you at all. This is unfortunately not the first time that I've come across a surreal experience like this during my own time as an MSP owner. It is unfortunately one of the many things you need to be aware of when picking a supplier of any form, whether it's software, hardware, or services. And there are a few specific things to be aware of when doing so. So firstly, why has this happened so quickly? And whilst we will never officially know, we can only assume that it's only going to be a handful of reasons. Firstly, all the buyer wanted was their staff. Secondly, all the buyer wanted was some specific IP from Mikey. Thirdly, they're shutting down parts of the business that don't make financial sense to keep operating to save other parts of the business. And a fourth option, which I've seen posted, not sure that I agree with it, but it is an option that the company was facing financial difficulties, and this was the only option they had to save themselves by selling things. Now, whatever the reasons are, it could be none of those, it could be all of those, but the questions are now, what do I do now, and how do I avoid this happening again? And this isn't the first time that I've had this happen to me. A few years ago, I was approached by someone who was running a fast-growing business, and they wanted to get their devices and services into my business. Now, I had a bad feeling that it wouldn't be a good decision. It's a relatively new company. They're trying to displace other equipment and services that work and have stood the test of time for decades, with their only selling point being that they were dramatically cheaper than those other time-tested services. So whilst I could have moved and saved myself a bucket ton of cash and made myself more profitable, what I would also have done is cause a huge issue for me only a matter of 6 or 12 months later when that company went bankrupt. And I actually had a call from that same business owner asking me if I wanted to buy some of his assets at discounted prices. One of those assets being a dedicated internet circuit?
No.
So for what to do next? Well, you don't have much time, but I would recommend looking at the likes of IT Glue and their MyGlue integration, something I've personally used for many, many years, and it is not perfect, but it does work very well for what it did. Keeper is also another option, and in all honesty, the only reason I'm not keen on Keeper is that I've seen them do some pretty questionable, unethical marketing over the years, but I can't argue that their product is solid and secure. But my recommendation to you is to look for a service that comes from a reputable company who has stood the test of time, particularly when you're talking about like the core services that you're selling to your clients. It is easy enough to switch hardware from Dell to HP to Lenovo, but it's very, very difficult to move your PSA or RMM, or as we've discovered, password manager, especially if your customer has access to the password system as part of their service, because now you have to retrain your client on how it works and explain why a supplier that you've selected is discontinuing that service. Now, I'll link down to a few options below this video in the description, but my thought process has always been the same, and it's similar to any time I give out investment advice. Buy, use, and resell products from vendors that you genuinely like, believe they have a good product, have good people behind them, and have the right company, like ethics and ethos behind them too. Not that any of that would have helped you here in particular, you know, if you thought that about Mikey, but it's never a bad time to give advice when many people are probably out there right now hunting on price alone. Now, we go through picking your tech stack more in my MSP course. There'll be a link down below to check that out. The price is going up soon. Otherwise, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.